I finally got back into the tutorial, so today we're going to talk about how to draw still life. So as you can see, I've chosen a picture from Pinterest, and so I'm just going to use a regular pencil, the HB pencil. So again, the point here is to give you a sort of introduction of what I believe to be the basics for drawing still life, and of course in black and white because we have a pencil. I have a ruler and some erasers. So you can just have a regular eraser, but I just like these different erasers because they allow me to get to the difficult, like really thin areas. So if you want, I mean, you can cut like or with the scissors like a small part of your eraser and use that if you want. So, and also I've sharpened the pencil in a way that you can like see the side of the nib, right? So that when we are shading, it will allow us to use the side of the pencil. Okay, so I think having said that, I think we can start. So first I'll start by and for the paper I'm just using a watercolor paper from a sketchbook. So let me prepare the picture. So first what we are going to do, we are going to just place the items first, and just to block in the big shapes, block in the composition, and then once we do that, we could go in with shading, adding details, work on highlights, dark shadows, cast shadows, and all those things. So, and I'll explain, if this is the first time you hear those terms, it's okay. I'll explain them to you as we go along. So, otherwise, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be posting tutorials weekly again. Okay, so first thing is that to figure out, like, to draw the line for the table. Just making sure that so let's say it's there. And again, I'm going to be holding the pencil like this, so I don't apply too much pressure. And when I'm working on details, I'll go in like this, but in the beginning, I don't want to apply that much pressure. I want to be very loose, so I'm holding the pencil like this. Okay, then another parallel line. So this will be the side of the table that we see there. And then this will be the top of the table. This ruler is, you can use a small ruler. This ruler is really heavy. Okay. So the objects that we are going to draw, except for the fruit, the cup and the what? Okay, I'm just going to call the cup. The cup and the bottle are symmetrical objects. So I'm just going to draw like a straight line, like perpendicular to these lines, to sort of help me maintain that symmetry as much as possible. So maybe the cup could be here. So I'm just trying to visualize so here will be the second set of grapes, and then the bottle is somewhere here, and of course it's bigger than the cup. So something like this. And I don't think we need the ruler anymore. So now that we have used it. So again, you can move the paper, but I'm just going to keep it straight as much as possible. So the top of the cup should be somewhere here. So I'm just going to block in the outline of the shapes. So now I'm going in for the grapes, but again it's the same thing. Just placing the outline. Okay, now that we have our lines that we need, I'm going to erase the lines that we don't need. So next thing is we're going to add a layer of shadowing, but for that we're going to use earpud, but this one is I've already used it, so you know there's also already a pencil mark here. So I'm going to get a new one. So this will be our stump. Like I mean, you can buy a stump if you want, if you can find it. But so, for example, like this, you can use a piece of paper, or this is the simplest solution. So we'll start with the cup. So and with the raisin. So and again, it's just adding layers, because values are like relative to one another. So let me just go a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. So again, just holding it like this, so I can use the side of the pencil so that you don't see the line that much. So this is me adding a first layer of shading to an object. Just cover the object with a cup like this, and then for the second pass, the darker areas. So I'm going in and creating another darker value. Now I'm going to pull out little highlights on the brighter areas. So there's a texture of the paper that we can see, but that's okay. That gives it a little bit of a charm. So like for the raisin, I'm not going to smooth it out a bit because I want to leave that sort of texture that the skin of the fruit, which is something natural, gives. So same here. We'll sort of color in a first value. Again, you have to remember that we are using only one, like a HB, right? So it's just a normal type of pencil. And that was the point of this, which is to make tell people that yeah, you can start with whatever you have, like the some basic tools that you have around you. And then once you understand how to use them, and then you sort of get bored of the limitations of the current tool, you can move on to a new tool and continue that learning cycle. So clearly the light is coming from this way, from the top left, from the highlights. Let's move on to the orange. I mean, I think it's an orange. So we see some lines here. So we're going to color in this side where the light is falling. So there's a little bit of highlight here, so which means that if I go in and then shade here, it will look like it's in the shadow, but with like a lighter shadow. Again, it's just trying to figure out, like, where to add and remove and develop the eye for that, keeping in mind that we have only one pencil, but we can still achieve different levels of darkness or different values, as artist will say. And I hope the audio is okay. This is the first time I'm using this setup. I'm using my phone as a webcam, and my mic as recording the sound. So I'm going to go again and pull out the highlight. So now the highlight looks too clean, right? So I'm going to the thing with this is that this can also become a tool that you can use for shading, because like it absorbs it catches all the pencil here, right? So it should be even brighter, actually. I feel like I darkened it up too much. Now for the bottle, since the bottle is very dark, give me one moment, my computer is running out of battery. We can sort of, go in dark. So let's add one layer first. And there's this emblem, like the photo is not in HD, so I can't quite figure out, but it looks something, I don't know. It looks somewhat like this, but I'll use the shading when in so again, it's glass, so it's going to be smooth. We also have to be mindful that that the objects that we drew are reflecting on the surface of the bottle. So we can create a sort of an illusion, like we can lightly, create that. Pull out, but use this to The idea is that the this highlight is brighter than the one reflected on the glass, on the dark glass, right? So that's the idea. So I'm drawing in sort of like random, not totally random, but like sort of that shape that is caught on by that surface of the bottle. I can go dark with the other areas. So this might be a good time to pull out the highlights, because that's really bright there. So you have to, like, in the rim, the left hand side of the bottle, like there is like a lighter side, so I'm just going to leave that and then color it like darker. Sorry. And of course trying not to touch the highlight. We'll just carve out some shapes that suggest that there's an emblem there. Again, it's just shading and then smoothing out and repeat that process. So we could continue on, working on this, but I just wanted to show you like how I would approach still life. Just one more thing, well, a lot of things, but to show that really the bottle is, like really dark compared to the cup. When I did this during the demonstration, the pencil nib broke, the tip broke. So I'm trying to push as much as possible to get the darkest value out of this pencil. And that's about as dark as we can go with this one. So here for the fruit, the orange. You see like that, so that becomes that Q-tip becomes drawing tool in itself at some point. The other thing I'm going to do is do the cast shadows, and you'll see that really brings things together. It really gives that believable aspect to it. It makes you believe that it's living in an actual environment as opposed to like just floating somewhere. So think about cast shadows when you're drawing something or someone. And for the wood, it's kind of actually so you see like lines like this, and actually they are like scratch lines. So we're going to do this, basically scratch our way towards a curve. So yeah, there you have it. So the other thing we can do is again here I just wanted to add some dots to sort of suggest some different kind of texture, but I mean I don't think it's working. So let me try to bring it closer. So yeah, so this is have a closer look. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any requests or any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And this is Boris for Sketchman Draws, signing off.